Good evening, guys. Can you hear me okay? I hope you can. I hope the sound and everything's working. Sorry, it's a bit of a mad rush. Hi, Kimberly. Hi, Firefly. Hi, Diane. Diane's bought the sausage rolls tonight, I believe. Hi, Helen. What I thought I'd do is just go over some of the news that we've heard. I thought we'd just keep the focus and exposure on Gannon. I think we're all quite heavily invested in Gannon's case at the moment, and there is actually some new news come out that I've just spotted. Came out about half an hour ago, so I'll go through that at the end. But it's nothing. It's just to do with the search, I believe. But as I say, I'll go through that after I've gone through the first few bits. So, hi Diane, how you doing? Yeah, what an awful situation. It's yeah, this poor kid. It's been over a week now. Hi Voices, and oh, you hoping I'd seen that? Yeah. Hi Tamra. Hi Tina. Hi Guernsey Girl. Yeah, it's just obviously as time goes on, it just becomes more and more of a concern, doesn't it? I really don't know where this case is going. There was a lot that I suspected about the stepmom's interview, but then she sounds so kind of convinced that he's going to kind of come back and she's going to be vindicated and everyone's going to apologise to her. She just sounds so kind of sure in that. I don't know. It's very strange. I mean, I just pray to God that obviously he's okay. That's the main thing, and that he returns home, and you know that nothing nefarious or bad's happened to him, obviously. But I just don't know. It all just seems very strange, doesn't it? And then obviously that neighbour footage coming out, which didn't kind of match up with her story, and yeah, it's very difficult to. It's difficult not to point fingers, but we know we mustn't point fingers at anyone because we don't know the full story. Let's face it, we don't know the full history. We don't know the full dynamics between all of them. So I suppose we should reserve judgment. Yeah, I did see that reporter that was outside the house from one of the news channels, and there was some shouting. I've actually got that clip, but I believe I do know the reason for it. And it was one of the reporters that put it on his Twitter. So I'll go through that a little bit later on. Right, let me just play. We'll just go through. So this was the for anyone who hasn't seen it. This was the sheriff's office update on a few days ago. I think it was February 4th or 5th. So I'll just play that for you, just if anyone hasn't seen it. She does mention in there about not sharing that neighbour's CCTV, but this was a few days ago. And then shortly after that, everyone had it. Even the major news channels had it showing. So I thought, well, there's no point in us keeping it back now. Really, I think it could be helpful. Like I say, it was plastered everywhere. Loads of other creators were analysing it and showing it, and major news channels were showing it. So I didn't think it mattered at that point. So I'll play that now.
First things
Anyway.
first, please just introduce yourself. Give us your
Yes,
name and title.
I'm Sergeant Deborah Minott, DEBORAH
Let me know if there's a
We're on
sound
day
problem.
8 now.
I don't think it looks right here. So
Since Gannon's disappearance, tell us where we're at now. We saw a lot of activity yesterday and last night at the home. What's the latest update?
So we are still continuing parallel investigations as well as search efforts for Gannon. Our number one goal is to find Gannon and to bring him home safely.
We're not seeing as many, people out on the streets, as you will, as you did over the weekend. They were everywhere.
Yes.
What's going on today?
That's true. So you might not be able to see the larger groups that we had out there, but just please understand that we do still have those search efforts continuing, and they might be more centralized, more concentrated areas, because that investigation led us to those concentrated areas. So just because you don't see the larger groups, you don't see the horses, you don't see the dogs or the search and rescue team, that does not mean that we are not focusing on this investigation. We're absolutely doing that.
What could you tell us about having the crime lab at the family's house twice yesterday? First and all day, and then back at night.
So the crime lab is used to, again, get pieces that's a part of the investigation, and that's what they're used for. So they're out there and they ensure they're doing this with the proper measures. They're using gloves, they're doing different things because they might come across something that might be part of the investigation. So it's very serious work that they have to do step by step, and that might be a need. Part of the investigation requested for them to be out there, and that's why they were there.
Surgeon, what can you tell us about this video?
So the Sheriff's Office will not be commenting or confirming any specifics of the video that was shared to the media. What we can let you know is that it is in fact a part of our investigation.
Do you dispute the neighbor's description of what is seen in that video?
We can't confirm any specifics.
How big a piece of that video is in your investigation?
So right now I can't give you a scale on how big one part is in comparison to another, but please understand again, any piece in this investigation is big for us. So any even eyewitness, a possible person that maybe they saw somebody in the neighborhood, something suspicious, even if to everyday citizens it might appear to be very small, it is to us a very big part. So this video may be a big part in that investigation. Therefore, we can't confirm any specifics on it.
Is the timeline now into question, being put into question?
The timeline in this entire case is going to be looked at. So our investigators are looking at everything step by step.
So just going back to the original release, it says that he was last seen January 27th in his home by his stepmother between 3:15 and 4 o'clock. Is that still accurate?
That piece, yes, that was reported to us the day of, and that piece is what is part of the investigation.
Is there a suspect at this time?
No, I cannot discuss that right now.
Any people of interest or persons of
So
interest?
please understand that persons of interest could be any person that has information to any case. And so as any investigation, our wonderful, talented detectives take tips and leads and they go until it's exhausted. So any bit of it, they'll go until it's exhausted. And then once that happens, during that path of the investigation, we may come across persons of interest. And then again, the specifics of those names of persons of interest, we will not share because again, it's a part of the investigation.
And we do not have any suspects at this time.
None.
Okay.
Talk to us about the massive social media following, I guess, this case has brought. There's several search groups for him, community members coming up with all of these hypotheses that,
Yes.
what they think. Is that taking away from your investigations?
Yes. So speculation is one thing, and theories and these kinds of ideas is one thing for someone to have. When they provide that to the sheriff's office, we take it seriously. So any information to any law enforcement agency, if you have a tip or a lead, we have to vet each of those. We have to ensure that it is factual, and it takes time away from our detectives to try to figure out if this is a good lead or if it's not. And the time that they spend doing that absolutely will take them away from that investigation. So speculation and theories is not something we want you to report. We want you to report the factual information, things that you've seen, and it might not even be that Monday. It could have been the week prior. Anything that you might have seen with your own eyes is information that we would like for you to provide, not speculation and not theories.
So like this neighbor in his video.
So if we could also talk about, as what Lieutenant Holka said in the press conference, although we have to make social media part of the investigation and put it in the investigation, that no leads anymore are going to be followed up unless they are called into the tip line or emailed into the tip line.
Okay.
I think that's really important.
Okay.
So if people really want to find Gannon,
Use those two methods. So we put out social media updates on Gannon Search, and we use social media for the sharing purposes. Comments sometimes are great, but please understand that tips that you provide will only be taken in two methods, and that's through our tip line, which is 719-520-6666, or through our email, which is tips@elpasoco.com. So if they message us, they're using social media to comment, we are not taking those. We are only taking it from those two methods.
And then yesterday, I was the first person to bring you this video,
Yes.
and you guys asked me to not share it because you said this will maybe hurt the investigation.
Yes.
Now we're seeing some station puts it on their,
Yes.
website. It's going everywhere. What's your take on this?
And so we understand that media, you guys are great to work with, and we understand that you were the first that called us and actually asked us what we thought about it. And we truly appreciate the relationship that you built with us by asking us first before putting it out there. And please understand, we wanted that kept. We wanted that kept because it is a big part of our investigation. And to share it immediately, we hope will not be detrimental. We hope it will not jeopardize the investigation, but the reason we asked you not to do that was because there is potential for that. And as a law enforcement agency, that's the worst that we could do, is to purposely, intentionally jeopardize any investigation.
So are you still asking us not to put this video out?
Yes, if someone were to call me today and ask prior to putting that out there, I would ask the same thing.
I know that you don't want to discuss the specifics of it, but as you mentioned, facts are important in this case, and
Yes.
how specifically the person that video describes this is a fact of the case. So a neighbor describes this video as showing the stepmother and the 11-year-old boy leaving the house. Several hours later, that stepmother coming back alone.
Yes.
Do you dispute that description of this video?
And just understand, sir, so when we have factual information provided, if it's on a public forum, that could be scrutinized when law and order takes place. So information that is factual, if it is displayed to where we're seeking potential justice, we have to do it in an organized effort. We don't want that on a public forum.
But if his description is wrong, you would want that out there too. If he's describing this as something that it's not, you would correct
Yeah.
us. So we're just trying to make sure that his description is accurate. And is it accurate?
And again, I can't confirm the specifics in the video. I can't, and to tell you the truth, I haven't seen the video myself. I can't confirm it, and the Sheriff's Office as a whole will not be commenting on the video that was shared to the media.
I have a couple of questions about the stepmother. I read that she rented a car on the day that he went missing. Is that accurate?
And that's part of the investigation too.
And is she still cooperating?
Part of the investigation.
Okay, so you can't
Yes.
say whether or not
We
she's
won't.
cooperating. I know before, I think you said that she was.
And any bit of info that might be given may portray the wrong judgment, and we don't want to do that as the Sheriff's Office.
Is he still considered a missing persons investigation, or has it become criminal?
It is missing persons, endangered, because of those factors, again, with the weather, his age, and medication he was taking, and also the time frame.
And so going into their homes, I mean, we saw obviously their video of Metro Crime Lab there and everything.
Yes.
What would you say their community is saying that this isn't criminal, but you do have investigators going in and taking evidence out of the home? Can you talk to that a little bit?
And just as an example, we used a search and rescue dog who had a really strong scent, and we get pieces of information that might not be criminal, that might just lead to where he might be, those kinds of things. And so when we get those pieces of evidence, it has to be maintained and protected, and again, that's why we use Crime Lab. They're really good with that. They're experts in the field, and that's why we do that. So it might not be criminal, and there are some cases where Crime Lab is involved and it's not criminally involved.
To all the people who are following this and praying for this young boy's return, just like everyone in the community is,
Yes.
I mean, is there anything that you can give us for an update for them? Do you feel like you're getting closer? Do you hope something will come up in the next few days?
Just please entrust the process. And I understand, coming from an agency, there are so many of us that are parents here, and we understand this is a devastating, just to imagine, it's very devastating if that were you in the parents' shoes. And so please understand that this is sometimes a slow process, and I know that might be frustrating, but we have very skilled people here at our agency, and we have skilled resources that we're using with the FBI, with the Colorado Springs Police Department, and a lot of different resources that we're using to put the best method together. Because again, all of them, each of them that have put passion into this case are thinking of Gannon. And it doesn't matter what piece that they have of this pie, they are thinking of Gannon and they want to bring him home safely.
Can you just kind of reiterate for some of the people the timeline? You know, I think we've all heard a little bit of a different thing. He was at school, he wasn't at school, he was on a hike. Can you go into any of that?
We can't, unfortunately, can't talk about those specifics.
Are you still saying that he went missing between 3 and 4 o'clock?
That was the only information relayed to us, and therefore the first day that the reporting party called in, that was indicated to us. That was the bit of information we had to work with. There were some other factors and information obtained during that call that we type coded him as a runaway because of information we received.
But
And
that
when
reporting,
did you get that? When was he reported missing?
That was the evening of Monday the 27th, which was approximately 6:55 p.m.
and that was reported by the stepmother, is that correct?
Yes.
So that original timeline that was just asked about is based upon the
Yes.
initial call from the stepmother?
Yes.
Okay.
If this video from the neighbor would have been released on Monday when he was still considered a runaway, would it have been in the public's eye?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
Are you guys, so you're still assuming, are you assuming he's dead or alive?
I'm not going to comment on that at this point.
You know, we always hope.
We have the best. We have the best hope that he is alive, and we're going to find him and bring him home. And that is, again, each of the people that are involved in this investigation all have that same hope.
Have you spoken to the stepmother since that piece of video came to light yesterday?
I can't comment on that.
And just one last question.
Sure.
The neighbor that we spoke to said that when detectives originally came to his house, they looked at those hours around 3 and 4, and then it wasn't until later that he decided to look back and see that video. So are you guys looking at a wider scope now that you know? That
I
this
don't.
video-
Yeah, I won't be able to comment on that either.
Do you encourage people to do what this neighbor did and to look back and see if there is any other info they can give to you guys?
Absolutely. So again, just not any bit of information could help. So if you do have those video cameras and you live in that neighborhood, we absolutely ask that you look through those. And I know some of them are timed out, 7-day captures and things like that. So it might not just be a focus on the Monday, focus on days prior. Anything, any bit of information is very valuable to this case, and to provide that to us, not in a public forum, but to provide that to us through those two outlets that I shared earlier.
Anything else?
No.
Okay, so yeah, that ties that up. So yeah, just to confirm, that was from a few days ago. That was not a live update. People saying she's been very guarded, and yeah, I think she was. Now, someone has put in the chat that there's an update or a later press conference. I can't seem to find that at the moment. So if anyone's got a link to that, I'd be most appreciative. But I have caught an update from the Denver Post, which came out about an hour ago, I believe. So let me read this out for you. So this was at it's published at 1:15 local time. So I think it's about an hour ago. And it's a Denver Post. It's headed "Divers Searching Water for Missing 11-Year-Old Colorado Springs Boy." A Colorado Springs dive team is searching bodies of water near Lawson Ranch in Colorado Springs for Gannon Stauch, an 11-year-old boy who hasn't been seen in more than a week. 4 horse-mounted El Paso County Sheriff's deputies, 2 dog teams, and 52 volunteers and law enforcement officers are searching for Gannon. The Colorado Springs Fire Department's dive team is looking in undisclosed bodies of water near Lawson Ranch. She declined to say which ponds, lakes, or streams are being searched. we have a dive team doing searches right here now. So this sounds like it's just routine. The searches near Lawson March have been in response to recommendations from the public and as a result of detectives following leads. She didn't offer any further context about the tips or why the water searches were necessary. El Paso Sheriff Sergeant Deborah Minat said heavy equipment has been brought to the water search areas to break through the ice after an extreme cold spell froze the ice. The weather will not deter us from the search, Minat said during a televised news conference. This is obviously the one that Glowing Ember. Real massacre talk. Okay. The Sheriff's crime laboratory continues to make trips to Gannon's home as new leads make that necessary, she said. Deputies have removed several pieces of evidence from the home, but she declined to elaborate about the items or their significance. It's a big, large puzzle and we're trying to put the pieces together, Minat said. Sheriff's investigators are working on one of two 12-hour shifts on the missing child search, so it's going 24 hours a day. In response to requests from the El Paso Sheriff's Office, deputies from Fremont and Douglas counties have sent out search and rescue teams to look for Gannon in certain areas based on tips. The National Guard and the FBI are collaborating in the search for the boy. It's the Sheriff's Office top priority to bring Gannon home safely, Kirby said. Still a missing endangered child case that hasn't turned criminal. And it goes on to say about the neighbour surveillance, which we all know about. District Attorney Dan May has visited the home, which I saw 4 of you mention in the chat, which happened yesterday, I believe. I know a lot of people thought it meant that someone was going to be arrested and what have you, but it didn't turn out to be anything significant. And the crime lab will be there for the next few days, the mobile crime lab, which are parked up outside. The Sheriff's Office is still saying, or still not saying, whether any persons of interest or there are any suspects in the case. So, like someone was saying, I thought you would have had something by now. I mean, they've got so many people now involved in looking. I did look at a quick map of the area, and there are quite a lot of bodies of water and sort of mountainous areas fairly close by too. So I guess now they're just going belt and braces and just going to search the whole area. Now, someone did mention that there was yesterday there was a reporter outside the house and there was reports of shouting and that kind of stuff. And it did actually, I'll show you the video, it didn't actually turn out to be anything significant from what I've heard. Let me just play the video for you.
Gannon Stauch, only 11 years old, has been missing for more than a week now. His parents, desperate to find him, made a video begging people to get involved.
So when I saw this, I was like, what?
Shared the
The
video
hell's going
with
on?
everyone
What
earlier
happened?
today. Throughout the week, the crime lab has been parked outside of Gannon's home. Well, today the district attorney was among those inside Gannon's home. CBS 4's Karen Morfitt is live in the Springs Forest night, spending the
This
day there.
happened live
And
when she
Karen, we
was
don't
there.
typically see that, the DA there.
No, Karen, and some have raised the question, does that relate to potential charges? But, something's happening behind us right now. The sheriff's office, it appears, just arrived at the home. I wanted to step off so you guys could see that. There was some screaming. We're going to get back to you as soon as we
Let me play that again. I'm going to turn it up. It's difficult to...
Is live in the Springs Forest night, spending the day there. And Karen, we don't typically see that, the DA there.
No, Karen, and some have raised the question, does that relate to potential charges? But, something's happening behind us right now. The sheriff's office, it appears, just arrived at the home.
I don't know if you can pick that up on here, but there was shouts and stuff.
No, Karen, and some have raised the question, does that relate to potential charges? But, something's happening behind us right now. The sheriff's office, it appears, just arrived at the home. I wanted to step off so you guys could see that. There was some screaming.
So, but apparently what that turned out to be, one of the reporters put on his Twitter, is that officers went to close the garage because the garage had been open for some time, and apparently the homeowner, because the parents rent the property, apparently the homeowner was there and startled them and spooked them. So there was just that kind of whole shout down situation when in fact it was nothing. They just spooked the homeowner, who was in the garage at that time. But yeah, when I first saw it and heard it, I thought, and I didn't hear anything after that for hours, coming out in the news about it. I thought, oh, mate, have they caught someone in there hiding or something? But yeah, so the poor homeowner is completely on edge. Well, I imagine everybody is completely on edge, and they just spooked someone in the garage. The officers spooked them in the garage. So that was that. But yeah, this is it's just a crazy case, isn't it? How it's going on, and I mean, there seems to be a lot of people seeming to think that she rented that red vehicle. I'm not sure where that's come from. Can anyone elaborate on that? Because I haven't seen any solid evidence of that. Someone said that they think it's a Nissan, that red vehicle. I mean, that is quite damning, that, neighbour CCTV, isn't it? The fact that she, leaves with Gannon at 10:15 or whatever it was AM, returns 4 hours later and he's not there. It's the father's truck, and yeah, that's what I actually heard, Anon. That's what I've heard, so that does kind of back that up. It just seems a whole strange situation as well regarding the house, because obviously the stepmom was living there, and then as soon as everything went down, she was not allowed to return to the house. So that kind of struck me as a bit odd, and also the fact that apparently they went hiking the day before, which the stepmom's daughter kind of confirmed that they came home. But then apparently the next day he didn't go to school. I've heard that she took him to the doctors. But again, I don't know why, and I'm being very careful because there's been so much speculation that's been put online about this case that it's very difficult to know exactly what to say. But there certainly doesn't seem to be much sort of further. They don't seem to be getting any further with it, do they? Which I think is very frustrating for everybody and worrying for everybody. And I really can't make out the stepmom from her interview. I can't tell whether she's being deceitful or whether she does genuinely think he's coming back, but she just seems so sure about it. And then there's various things being said about the stepmom as well, which, I'm not going to repeat here, but there's a lot of people obviously pointing the finger at the stepmom. So I don't know, it's a very strange, very strange. Of course, the longer it goes on, the more worrying it gets. This poor kid, where is he? Where is he? It's been 8 days, and with no further knowing what the hell's going on. I've also got for those who haven't seen
of who my son is. Everybody coming together, all the smiles that people have. This is why I have hope, because I feel it. This is Gannon truly speaking to our community. Gannon he loves blue, he loves Sonic, he's into coding, he loves riding his bicycle with his sister, and I know that he's missing that right now. He holds his job as being Big Bubba very important, and for him not to be able to talk to his sisters has to be hurting him. This week has been awful.
Okay, did you lose me for a second there? it seemed to buffer. So stream resumed. Yeah, I think it dropped out, Kimberly. I think it may have. Let me know when it's all right, and I'll start that video again. Back. Yeah, you might need to refresh. I just saw I started buffering my end, so yeah, I think it's okay now. Buffering for Firefly. Let's have a look. Okay. Damn, buffering. Okay now. Okay, I'll play that again.
How do I describe my G-Man, my Gannon? Gannon's my hero. I love him so much. He's not only my hero, he has multiple people that call him his hero as well. He has so many family members that just look up to him at such a small age. He's full of life. He's happy. He's energetic. He loves sports. He loves Sonic. He loves going outside, playing with his friends, his sister, his neighbor, especially Braden. This neighborhood basically gives you a true example of who my son is. Everybody coming together, all the smiles that people have. This is why I have hope, because I feel it. This is Gannon truly speaking to our community. Gannon he loves blue, he loves Sonic, he's into coding, he loves riding his bicycle with his sister, and I know that he's missing that right now. He holds his job as being Big Bubba very important, and for him not to be able to talk to his sisters has to be hurting him. This week has been awful. It's been more than a roller coaster ride. It's been more than emotional mess. I don't even have answers for my feelings other than I'm afraid. I'm afraid that I will never hear his voice, that I will never hear him run and say, "Mommy," that I'll never hear those corny jokes that he always tells every single day. He has to tell me a joke. He looks forward to telling me something silly. And I'm afraid that I may never see that again or hear it. I don't want to believe that, because that means that I'm giving up hope, and I'm not giving up hope because my son is full of hope. So I'm urging anyone that has any leads, credible leads, if you're too afraid because you know something, a kid just doesn't disappear and no one sees him. It's not how this works. So if you have anything that's credible, if you're afraid, don't worry about it. Imagine my son, how afraid he is. Imagine how afraid Gannon is. So please call, please write. If you need to have someone else to do it for you, please do. Because my son deserves to be here. He deserves to be here. Please call the El Paso Sheriff's County and let them know. And I thank you guys, the community, for what you've done, because this is Gannon. This is who he is. And I thank you guys so much.
When Gannon was born, he weighed only 1 pound and 6 ounces, and even today he's still our miracle child. He still is. And he's such a happy child, and he just brings life to every party. His smile, even today, is keeping us going. His infectious smile brings me joy every time I think about it. The past 8 days have been, as Landon said, a roller coaster of emotions. Sometimes we jump in for joy because we get an information that we might think is a break in the case, and then the next minute we get we see something or get information that just breaks our heart into a million pieces again. But through all this, just know that your thoughts and your prayers and your messages, keep them coming, because even if we don't respond, we are receiving them, and that has given us strength to get through this. And I do want to say I'm so proud of Lena, my little baby girl here, and of Landon, my children's mother. They've been so strong through this, stronger than I would have ever thought that I could have ever been, and I'm getting strength from them as well. As I said, please keep sending your thoughts and your prayers, because we are receiving them. And if you have any information at all that could help, please reach out to the El Paso County Sheriff's Office with only credible information, but any information that you think may help. Thank you so much. Your turn, baby.
I love you, Baba.
Just a killer, isn't it? when you see it like that. It's absolute family, mother and father's worst nightmare, isn't it? Can't imagine what they're going through at the moment. So yeah, so as I say, that's the latest that I know, is just that they are now searching the stretches of water and stuff surrounding the area, obviously where they think that he may have gone. It's just a very baffling case, isn't it? I can't imagine why anybody would want to hurt this child. You know, the stepmom's looked after him for a couple of years, she says. But then it's just worrying that her story's not kind of adding up, isn't it? And the way she conducted her interview, obviously like she says, she's been getting death threats and stuff like that. But I don't know. It's difficult to know what to make of it, isn't it? I think we're all just hoping and praying for some good news, and that he's gonna, you know, he's either run away, which I don't think he has, whether this is some kind of sick power trip game by the stepmother, or something like that, or somebody that knows them, or I don't know. I really don't know, and I don't want to. You just don't want to throw speculation out there, do you? Because I think there's been far too much of that already. I have got a meeting open if anyone does want to call in, if they've got any information, or if they've seen the newer press conference and have got any information that I haven't mentioned tonight. Obviously, I missed that conference before I came on, but I'll put the link in the chat. All you got to do is basically click on it. You can either have phone or PC, laptop or whatever, but that should take you straight in if anyone wants to come on and chat, or just share their thoughts about it, really. Obviously, we're not ones to throw wild speculation out there, but you know, if anyone's seen anything pertinent that we haven't reported on, or have heard anything, or can explain anything, then you're more than welcome to call in. But it's very strange. So Patricia, the only thing new that I have seen is that they're all pulling together, you know, FBI, the Sheriff's Office, the National Centre for Exploited Children, and they're now starting to search areas of water sort of surrounding his area. And thank you, Firefly. Thank you very much. Yeah, hearts and prayers for Gannon, guys. Absolutely. They say that they receive all these prayers and thoughts, so you know, let's send all our positive thoughts their way. And like somebody said earlier, this is just so soon after poor Harley. You know, everyone was just kind of getting over that and how tragic that was. And in Colorado, again, this time in Colorado, everything seems to happen in Colorado. But yeah, thank you, Firefly. That's very kind of you. But yeah, they are searching bodies of water in the area. So you know, let's just hope that's routine and they've not received any kind of specific tip or anything on that. But they've got divers and stuff going down searching. So like I say, hopefully that's just a routine kind of thing that they're doing, because obviously they haven't really got any further with finding him. So, and I don't know how far they've got with questioning. You know, they haven't really, they've not named anyone as a suspect, a person of interest. They've not relayed much at all, really, are they? I can understand them keeping it close to their chest, definitely. But yeah, it's difficult because everyone's, I mean, so many people now are emotionally invested in it, aren't they? I know I am, and you just want to hear something. Yeah, people are calling it Colorado. It's not exactly great reputation at the moment, is it? With everything that's happened there. Anon says, do we know if it's true family has private investigator or just rumour? I haven't heard that. I personally, I wouldn't have thought so. They've got so many people on the job, haven't they? They've got the crimes lab unit outside as well. I mean, what have they been? They've obviously took a lot of evidence out of the house as well, haven't they? So it makes you wonder what they've taken out and why. Why have they taken it out? Oh, Hippie Love lived in Colorado. It's beautiful there. Diane says it's cursed. It certainly seems cursed. Hi, Blue West. Nice to see you here. So yeah, I was hoping to maybe bring you a bit more of positive update, but it doesn't seem like there's anything as yet. So what are we into now? It's now hi Rupal Thaker. It's sort of day 10 now, isn't it, guys? Or day 9. Day 9 is 27th of January. So yeah, we're into day 9. I've got the if anyone wants to see, I've got the neighbours footage. If anyone wants to see that, if they haven't seen it, I think probably every man and his dog's seen it by now. But it's very difficult to make out as well. Hello. Hello. Okay, you might be on mute for a few seconds. This does happen sometimes. So bear with us. Hello.
Hi,
Oh, hi there. Can you hear me okay?
how are ya? Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah. Can everybody in the chat hear okay?
Yeah. So my
Good.
name is Tay. I'm also a curator, and I just want to thank you so, so much for everything that you do, the love and the heart that you have in this case. And I just wanted to let you know how I came about this case is that I'm a crime sleuther. That's basically it. Okay.
Yeah, I think we all are.
And
I think we all are. Yeah.
exactly. So some of the cases that in my past that I have followed, one was the Malaya Davis case, and through that, my partner he helped in the echo search. And at the start, at the beginning, since he was going out, I ended up, just helping out, giving out bottles of water, making sandwiches. And during that case, they couldn't get into certain areas. And I had been given a drone for Mother's Day. And so it was suggested, why don't we try to use drones? Anyways, long story short, I have started now a sort of drone committee. And anyone who knows how to use a drone in whatever state they may be in, then they let me know, and then I connect them with the appropriate people. So how I got to know about this is somebody emailed me and told me about a Gannon missing, and could I maybe perhaps, put a PSA out if anyone's in Colorado and they want to join the search team in regards to using drones, right?
Hmm.
So that's kind of how I things got kicked off. So I put the PSA out. I don't know if anybody qualified, because you have to go through steps to be approved, and you have to make sure you're registered, blah, blah, blah. So I started looking into it, and I guess basically I'm kind of where everybody else is. We're anticipating and wanting to know, what's going down. But I have a question for you. If you happen to know, because you just dropped some new news, and
Hmm.
that's that they're searching for water. Where is the water located? I'm not familiar with their area. Do you happen to know how far it is from the home, or?
I can certainly bring it up on the map actually. If you give me a couple of
If you don't
minutes,
mind.
yeah.
Sure.
If you can bear with me 2 minutes, I'll bring up Google Maps and we'll have a look.
Now, it is also sad that when they put out the alert bulletin, they put him as high priority, and that was due to the fact that he had to take medicine. Do you happen to know what medicines? Are they like life-surviving type medicines, or does anybody know?
Yeah, I don't think they've actually released that information yet. I don't know if anybody in chat has heard. I did know that he does need special medication. I don't know how that's going to affect him if he doesn't have it. Obviously,
Yeah,
being
because
special meds.
yeah, because usually when they do that from prior cases that I've researched or studied or been nosy about, they usually do it because it's more life threatening, like they need it. It's something that's very, very important, but I
Absolutely.
don't know. I'd like to know. I think it would help, for us to kind of know, because if he does need any medicine, then we could kind of help. Like there's so many sleuthers out there, they could keep their ear open if anyone kind of trying to get that script from a pharmacy anywhere, you know what I'm saying, or more of that product is bought. Let's say somebody said it was maybe tummy issues, but I kind of try to get to understand what this medicine is, and they have to drink or something, the bottle for the day. I don't know, but we could maybe, like, if we knew, I'm just saying, if we kind of knew, then we could keep an open eye out for, stuff, people who are maybe buying bottles of it, or, you know what I'm saying?
Definitely, yeah. I did hear, no, I don't know if this is rumor, but that the stepmother took him to the doctors.
Well, I don't know about her interview. It's full of holes. It seemed contrived to me. Maybe she's just nervous and that's just the way people react. We can't, everybody handles things differently. I just found that there was things that just didn't add up in her alibi, to me. Oh, he went to the doctor, and no, he didn't go to the doctor. I don't know. And then all of a sudden she's letting him go out and play to see friends. Like, who does that if they're not feeling well? I'm a mom. If my kid's sick, yes, I'm going to take him to the doctor. I'm going to not let him go out, right? But I
Absolutely.
think that they would. I think they would check her cell phone. I would think, if she's cooperative. It doesn't seem she's being very cooperative. I found when she came out, it's like more talking about her. It was all about her. Oh my gosh, the police, the way they treated me, and they did this and they did that, and it was me, 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 and I want a lawyer. And I'm thinking, lady, this is your stepson. Who cares about all of that? And if you went to Burger King or whatever, talk about Gannon, to let us know about Gannon. Like, we need to, like, you saw the other parents, their whole focus was not them. It was about Gannon. And I just don't understand. So that didn't feel right. But like I said, maybe that's just how she handles it. She didn't seem to cooperate. She was freaking out. Why freak out if you are looking for your kid? You know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I'm hoping that she'll cooperate. And if they say, well, let me see your cell phone, that she'll hand it over. Because basically, if you're innocent, you'll do anything. You'll give blood. You'll bend over backwards. You won't care if you are in handcuffs and thrown against the wall. They went there because there was a report of a missing child. She interfered, in my opinion, by doing that craziness. Because think of it, if it was a fire, right? And the house was on fire, and she's stopping the fireman and saying, hold on a second. You can't do that. You can't do that. Oh, no. Don't break my door down. And she's, you know what I'm saying? It
Yeah,
just seems like it didn't seem right. Like, why are you going through this stuff? How dare you? It just, you get the firemen. contain things. You know what I'm saying? It's just my opinion. As a mom, I wouldn't care what they did to me or whatever they suspected. I don't care. I'd do anything because I want the child back. You
Abs-
know, I'm scared. Like I'm scared, and I'm not even a part of that family for this little boy. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, yeah. She did seem more interested in herself almost, didn't she, and being vindicated
Well,
when who cares about that? Yeah,
right.
exactly, yeah.
Right, exactly. I don't care what you had at Burger King and if you broke a nail when they threw you against the wall. I don't care about that. You know, who cares? Talk about everything. What was he wearing when you saw him? You were the last person that supposedly saw him. Tell us exactly what time he went out, what friend, like maybe she can't go into detail about all of that, but why the heck not? I would be saying, well, this is the bad boy. He walks down to go to his friend's house and he didn't show up, and this is what he was wearing, and this is he didn't take his backpack or something. Nothing was in his backpack. You know what I'm saying? Just anything. You know,
Yeah, absolutely. Anything just to identify him, isn't it? Forget everything
because
else.
it is about him. Yeah, it's all about him.
Absolutely.
You know, it's not going to ruin the investigation. It's going to help the search. You know,
That's right. Just get him found. I'm just looking at
I see the map.
yeah, so I mean the nearest big body of water appears
Hmm.
to be that reservoir. Now I don't know how far, but I think they did mention that it's around the um, Lawson area. Now I can
It
see
looks
that,
like a big body of water.
yeah,
Looks
Jimmy
like a
Camp
lake.
Jimmy Camp Creek, which appears to be so Lawson Boulevard crosses the creek, and I'm pretty sure they did mention that area. Bear with me one second. But yeah, it does, doesn't it? It does look like. Let me just get the
Is
map.
it a creek or a lake?
I didn't know there's any water in there on that image, but then we don't know how old. Trouble is with Google Images, you don't know how old they are.
I can't even use the map thing. Haven't got a clue.
No, but let me just bring that back. So, well, according to that, that's a creek. Um,
Well, creeks could have running water in it too. That might not be good because if it's running, he could
absolutely.
float downwards.
And then you've got
Now,
Lake
would there be
Bennett.
any reason for Gannon to be walking towards a creek? If he's going to his friend's house, how far was his friend's house from the house?
They say very close. I think it was just kind of in the next one or two streets.
Oh, so it was very close.
Yeah. So let me just read that article again. I mean, I think it
Yeah.
does mention which area.
Okay.
I'm just going to bring it up on my phone, the area that
Okay.
they are. Because didn't they do some drone footage very early on? Didn't they
I don't
put a
know.
drone up?
I'm 12 hours ahead right now. I'm doing some teaching over in another country, so I'm far behind. So, it just lucks in that, I can catch it live right now. It's not too bad for me. So I'm always behind, and I saw that you came on and you're giving updates and new news since I heard last night.
Yeah, so they're saying it's bodies of water near Lawson Ranch. So let me just see if I can find Lawson Ranch. I mean, I know there's a Lawson Road around that area where he is. Um, Lawson Ranch Community. Right, so that's just a bit further over to the right. I don't know if you can see.
Yeah, I can see.
Um,
That's far away.
yeah, I don't see any body of water there, but unless they mean this, what's that? Fountain Ditch. So it
I
appears to
can't.
be, yeah, there appears to be some kind of smaller rivers and streams around that area. I
But
can't see it.
But it's still out of his locale of where he was supposed to be. That's why I'm wondering, are they getting some tips or something, or
Yeah, they're
did they
being very
find some?
guarded. They're being.
Well, they have to be, but if let's just say it was in the truck, those tires are so I don't know what the word would be, but like the track and everything, it depends on I don't know this area. I don't know what kind of roads they have or anything like that, but the tread would really appear. So who knows? Maybe someone saw some odd treads. Because remember, I think it's off season there. Like, are they in a winter or spring? I don't know about, is there snow now, or
They've had
what do
snow.
they
Yeah,
have?
it's been. I think that was one of the reasons why they upped it to missing endangered child was because of the weather. They have
Oh,
had. They
okay.
have had. Yeah, they've had snow.
Okay. So
Um,
you would have then tread marks, right? So I don't know what the ranch is. Can we see a picture of the ranch? Is there any way that you can satellite us into what the ranch and everything looks like so we get
yeah,
a
possibly. Let me have.
visual?
Yeah, let me have a look.
Because it would be interesting to see if it's like a ranch that's only seasonal or closed down and, you know,
Definitely. Let me just take that off of there. Bear with me 1 minute. I'll see. I'll say all they put is Lawson Ranch. Bodies of water near Lawson Ranch. So,
Mhm.
um,
Well, if you Google Lawson Ranch in, it might be a website, maybe. Maybe it like I don't know if it's a personal ranch or if it's a hobby ranch. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Let's just have a look. It's got
So
maps.
I'll do it too. I'll help you out here. I'll see if I can see something. It's called Lawson Ranch, and it's in
Yeah.
what state?
Colorado.
Okay.
Colorado Springs.
How do you spell Lawson?
Uh,
Lawson?
Lorson.
Lawson Ranch, Colorado. Okay, so they do have something here. Let's see.
Doesn't seem to be any water there though.
Okay, it says LG Homes, Carriage Meadows, St. Auburn Homes, Stingray Park. Welcome to, oh, they spell it here, Lorson, Lorson.
Yeah,
Is it,
that's correct.
that's the one? Okay,
Yeah,
so
that's
let
what
me
they.
click on this. Okay, so they have a website. Meetings, tree planting tips. So let's see if they have pictures.
It's almost put maybe there's a water hole for cattle or something.
Our neighborhood. Let's see what they say. It looks like about Larson Ranch. Larson Ranch is located directly east of Mark Sheffel Road. So it's MarkSheffel Road and Fontaine Boulevard in southeast Colorado Springs. It offers a rural setting near the city with great views of Pikes Peak and Colorado Front Range. Um, it's a community that started home building in 2007, and there's over 2,000 finished homes and still some under constructions. The location, Larson Ranch is advantageously located at epicenter off Military Operation Road, 6 miles southeast of Shriver Air Force Base. 4 miles south of Peterson Air Force Base, wow, 6 miles east of the Colorado Springs Airport, and 5 miles east of Fort Carson Military Reserve. Lots of military around there, eh? It's a rural setting. It represents of the quiet and safe environment that residents call home. Attractions and entertainment, hospitals and worships. So it has fishing and hiking and climbing and golfing and yada yada yada. So like this is like
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? This is
It's
like
like a new community. It's almost like a community
yeah,
area then.
yeah.
But
Uh,
if there's fishing, obviously then there's going to
I
be
just
water.
Right. So utilities. They have a Winfield Water and Sanitation District, Water and Sewer Services. Oh, so these are just services. Never mind about that. Okay. Government, schools. They have their newspapers called the Gazette, Gazette. I wonder if they have anything in there. But look how many Fort Carson Army Base, Peterson Air Force Base, and Shriver Air Force Base.
Okay,
Wow.
I've got a Facebook up link here for the latest press conference, so I'll put that on, and
Okay, very
we
good.
may learn some things from this.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, let's have a look.
I'm gonna pin that too.
Okay, hopefully this should come up. Hopefully you should all be able to see it.
Have you first say and spell your first and last name?
Sure, it's Sergeant Deborah Minott, DeborahMynatt.
And Sergeant Minott, what can you tell us about the latest on the search for Gannon?
So just to let you know, as I've said before, this is very fluid. So
Can everybody see and hear this okay, just before I carry on? Sorry, what was your name on the call again, sorry?
Sorry about that. I kept on mute because I don't want to interrupt.
Oh,
with
that's okay.
reading.
I'll say it's about
It's
15 minutes long, this press
Tay.
conference.
Do you want me
Okay.
to click off or stay? I'll just mute.
It's entirely up to you. You can mute. That's fine.
Okay, I'll mute.
Yeah.
Mute. Okay.
Okay. I'll carry on. Thanks.
So initially we had large groups of search parties out, and then yesterday we really had a concentrated effort and smaller groups of searches, and today we're right back to a larger group. So today we have approximately 52 volunteers. That is our search and rescue, El Paso County Sheriff's Office search and rescue team, and we also have volunteer National Guard members out here assisting. So 52 of those. We also have 4 horses out today and 2 dogs, and 1 utility vehicle, a razor, is out today too.
What kind of dogs are these?
It's a part of the search and rescue team. I don't know their specialties at this point.
Do you have some folks in the area that Johnson Reservoir?
Yes, in this vicinity. So it's this entire vicinity. We were out here initially 2 days ago. Was that 2 days ago, 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Okay. And originally when we were out here, we did a thorough job. However, today we're right back to doing a secondary thorough job, not because we missed anything last time. It's because there's certain equipment that we were able to get from our collaborative partners today. So those different equipment pieces we were able to do. So again, we're going to do a secondary thorough search in this area, but it does not mean that we didn't do a good job the first time around. It's just we have different equipment today.
Why are you focusing on this area?
It's all a part of the investigation. So with those leads that I was letting you guys know, any positive lead that we get, we take those avenues until it's exhausted. We don't quit on those good positive leads that we get. We have to ensure that everything is met through that lead, and that's exactly what we're doing today.
Has weather played a role in hindering the search or delaying anything, or what?
You know, it doesn't delay it in any way, because again, as we've said, in blizzard conditions, it does not matter. If we get a good lead, we're going to be out here. But again, you can see it's colder. Different equipment is needed, different resources, the way that we dress to prepare to come out here, possibly different foods to kind of keep our volunteers a little warm out here. So there are differences in that aspect, but as far as our search and our efforts, that is not going to stop at all.
Wait, I didn't know. Like, do you have
Yes.
In the update yesterday, you talked about how the search and the investigation are happening simultaneously. How is that affecting the resources?
Just to let you know, we have a great number of resources right now. So right now in a different office, a secondary location, we've got the investigative piece. We've got the FBI assisting us there, and they're working right now. They're brainstorming, they're doing a lot of different things, and different folks within that are assigned to different tasks. So again, that's going on in those closed door rooms, and then here is that other secondary parallel, like I said, with they're going parallel with each other, is continuing out here in this effort.
I just want to figure out how wide this group of volunteers search
the Douglas County Search and Rescue Team assist us. We've also had the Fremont County Sheriff's Office Search and Rescue Team assist us. So it's going as far as those reaches, and we have so much support, not only from the law enforcement resources, but also county resources, and we have the community support, which is wonderful. And so again, the positive leads that we can get, any bit of information can help in this case. And we encourage those folks that actually have good, legitimate, credible information that, you know, like I said, when they've seen things with their own eyes, they've witnessed different things. If they call that into our tip line, we will absolutely look into those leads. So we entrust that the community will continue to do that and help us out with that.
Can you talk about the Stauch home, and will detectives be there today?
They possibly will be, so you might see the crime lab off and on at the Stauch home, and that is all a part of the investigation. And they're collecting different pieces, and it is a big, large puzzle, and we're trying to put all of those pieces together. Our number one goal at the Sheriff's Office is to bring Gannon home safely. Every single one of us that has been a part of this investigation, a part of the search efforts, all of us have Gannon in the forefront of our minds, and we want to bring him home to his family.
At this point, is it still just a missing persons case, or has it turned criminal in any nature?
No, it is still considered a missing persons case, endangered child at this point. No. You know, I'm not really sure, but it is very important to kind of give them space. So as a media outlet, if you guys could do us a favor and give the family some space. This is a time that is very difficult for them. It is an emotional roller coaster, as you can imagine. I couldn't imagine what the family's going through. And so if you could give them a little bit of space, we would appreciate that as an agency. And also, you know, as far as where they're staying, I don't know.
Could you give us a comment on District Attorney Dan May being at the home for an hour last night?
You know, and he did stop by, that's correct, and that doesn't change our focus. And the District Attorney's Office is assisting us, so they're assisting by taking those tips and assisting in any effort that we might have. So they are helping us out. It doesn't change anything in this case, though. So it is still considered a missing person, endangered child at this time.
You said he was part of the task force or part of the team. What exactly is it?
You know, we don't have a specific name for that task force, but as far as different tasks go, in this investigation, that's more than likely what he was talking about, but there's not a specified task force per se with their assistance.
We've seen detectives come out with bags and all the different stuff as part of the investigation. Can you just shed any light on if that's typical, or is this more than coming out?
And again, we want to be very careful, and we want to make sure that they're, you know, these folks are experts in the field. They go out there to the home, and they're ensuring that every piece is identified. And so I can't speak on the pieces that they're removing from the home and exactly what they're looking at, because again, all of that is part of the investigation.
You talked about credible tips earlier. Can you just reiterate to the community how important it is to not spread the rumors? Obviously, we saw the press release you guys sent out yesterday about rumors, and just talk about that and how it could affect your guys' investigation.
Yes, so as an example, when those tips come in, we have a spreadsheet built. We have to enter every tip that we receive, and then we have to decide which one is credible, which one is not. We have received things as, somebody just giving us kind of suggestions. Somebody called in and said to search every trunk in the city. And so we have to then take that, log it in, put it all in, then have a conversation with someone else on if we're going to do this or we're going to take this lead. That takes precious time away from the investigation, even as simple as a suggestion. We're not asking for suggestions. We're not asking for theories or speculation. We are asking for factual information that you saw with your own eyes. That is what we need. And if you waste the time of these detectives, you're taking time away from the potential of us finding Gannon. And it's so important that you understand that. Your speculations and your theories that you have on your private groups are one thing, but when you reach out to law enforcement and you leave those messages, understand we have to do the extra due diligence into looking at those tips. So please, only credible, factual information.
How long are the search and volunteers going to be working out here today, and do you expect to come back? This is your second time, as you talked about before.
There have been times they were out here for 10 hours, 12 hours. And it depends. It depends on the efforts. We have, again, a pool of 500 plus community volunteers that at any point, if we decide to go to larger areas, if we decide to have the assistance of those individuals, we will reach out to them. But 500 plus from our community, again, is a huge positive effort, and we appreciate the community by doing that.
Can you comment on the surveillance video from the neighbor and just the fact that he's saying that the timestamp just doesn't match up with the statement that Gannon's stepmother had given?
And that's a part of the investigation. So the sheriff's office will not be commenting on that video or confirming any parts of that video at this time.
The person who had that video, he said that investigators didn't approach his house and ask for that surveillance video until the Friday following the Monday when Gannon was reported missing. Why did it take so long?
Again, I don't know the specifics. I don't even know if that's true. It's a part of the investigation.
You mentioned different technology tools because of the weather. Can you go into what those kind of specifically are, what your search looks like?
Yeah, and I won't be able to go into those specifics. It is through a fire department, and so I'm not sure what kind of equipment it is or the specifics of it. More than likely, we'll get that information and put that in our daily press release on this later, but I don't have the specifics of what they're using.
I think you've spoken to drones being used in
Yes.
the search. We hear helicopters, planes flying over. Anything in regards to that being used in the search?
Are we using that today?
We're not using helicopters today, no, or drones today.
So no helicopters, no drones today, but we have used them in the initial 2 days.
Drones, not helicopters.
We had
have used drones.
we had Flight for Life on one day
We did.
assisting with
You're
the
right.
search.
Yep.
Mhm.
Speaking to the location of where we are you able to speak to the reservoir and how that kind of plays into the search or the efforts today?
You know, right now it's a large piece that is frozen, and maybe that equipment that we're utilizing is going to be used for those removal of the big blocks of ice there. I'm not, again, sure if that's the case, but we'll let you guys know. We'll give you guys an update if that is the case, but it is frozen right now.
We know Gannon relies on certain medication. We can't get into that with HIPAA, but is it thought to be that that could be life-threatening if he's not able to get his medication now for the past 10 days?
And we won't be able to release the information on the special medication he takes.
Is it life-threatening or is it vital for his well-being?
You know, I don't believe it is, but I'll get a confirmation on that.
Again, talk about the command center. Talk about where we are and the
Yes.
community's involvement. Got here a little bit late. So go over that
So
again.
absolutely. So currently we have 52 volunteers out. That's search and rescue as well as volunteer National Guard folks out here. And you know, the weather changes as far as the attire that they have. We have to ensure certain things are told to the volunteers before they go out, because again, that could potentially cause them some medical issues or some concerns if they're not bundled up appropriately. Other than that, we are out here doing a secondary thorough search. We've been out here before, but the reason why we're out here doing that secondary search is because of special equipment we were able to get from a collaborative partner of ours.
Saw the sheriff's office with a horse trailer. Are they on mounted patrols?
Yes, so the mounted trailer that you see back here is from our mounted unit. So we have 4 of those horses out today with deputy sheriffs that are their handlers.
And with weather expected to move in, what are the difficulties that are going to be enhanced, moving forward?
So again, the weather will not deter us from the search. It will not stop us from searching for Gannon. We are going to be out here regardless. We're just going to end up adding more layers possibly to our attire and doing some other, other things to ensure that we're warm and we're safe. But again, we are all in this for Gannon and for his family, and we appreciate the community support in this effort, and we will keep you guys updated. Again, anytime we have any big updates or even slight updates, we'll put that out, and that's credible from the sheriff's office.
And are there divers in the water? Have you put divers in the water yet?
No.
Are there plans to do so?
I'm not sure because it's frozen again. It's frozen solid right now,
Not at
so
this point.
not at this point.
I think Gannon, you're top priority right now.
Yes, it is. It absolutely is. And again, every person that has effort into this investigation has Gannon at the forefront of our minds because we want to bring him home safe to his family.
And going off that, we know the community is just heartbroken over this, and they probably feel helpless in some way, wanting to do something. Do you know if the family is in need of anything at this time that community members?
I can ask them. I can definitely reach out to the family to see if there is some sort of support, and we could put that on our Twitter if that is the case. So I'll reach out to the family today to see if that is something that they need. Thank you for asking.
Cooperating in the investigation.
Yes, yes. Okay.
If anybody wants to help out, you can't just hit the woods, right? You got to get certified.
There's a vetting process, and so right now we have 500 plus volunteers, citizen volunteers, and there is a vetting process, and that's for the safety of all of those individuals that's involved in the search. And so that application can be found on our Twitter page, and then just complete it. You'll get an email response if you are cleared and ready to go, and then we just have that pool kind of on standby in case we do need them.
I know that earlier you said that you can't speak to the specific training of the dogs that you've seen out here, but do you know if they have a sense of Gannon that they are kind of using in their search efforts today, or is there something else that they're assisting with?
You know, I'm not sure. Initially, I know the first day that they used the dogs, they did get a scent, and so I don't know how it is today. And I'm not sure if those type of dogs that are out today has that type of training or what the training is to, specifically. So I'll find that out for you too and give you guys an update.
I hate to go here, but at this point, are we still considering that Gannon is alive in this as we search?
There's everybody involved in this has that hope, and absolutely we believe he is, and that's what we're searching. We're searching so immensely because we all believe that he is.
How about expanding the search? Hotel rooms, places.
So again, it's all leads. So we're basing this off of good leads that we get.
Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so that's that. Tay, are you still there?
Yeah.
Yeah.
While I was listening to this, I decided to go to their Facebook page.
Okay.
Yeah, can you hear me? Oh, hold
Yeah.
on. Oh, hold on. Sorry. Oh, sorry. I had to get you off mute. Okay, so while we were listening to that, I decided to go to their Facebook page in El Paso. I have a question, if you can just refresh my memory. What was the day that he went missing? The date again?
So it was 27th of January.
Okay, so in looking here at February 4th, they're really up against quite some conditions. So on February 4th, they had a blizzard warning and 2 to 7 inches of snow. And if you go to their page, you can see it. The conditions were horrendous. And they basically said, like, everything's out of commission for 24 to 36 hours. I don't know what the temperature would be for those conditions. Usually when it snows, it's around 0. So
Yeah.
just wanted to mention that they had a very bad snowstorm. And then they do post in regards to him missing on the 5th. But basically it's, any information to assist and everything like that. But in my opinion, whatever tip they got, it seems to be a pretty good tip to have so many people involved there. And if you look at the picture, it's absolutely gorgeous there, by the way. It's very mountainous. It's like there's this gigantic mountain and then like this little kind of like city below. And so they're up against some serious terrain. They really are. Like this is like literally it says here when a storm hits how the roads get plowed, and these look like military vehicles that are plowing the roads because of the conditions of mountains, I guess, there, right?
Wow.
And
Yeah.
it's rocky and edgy and wow, it's huge. Like there is so much landscape. It's incredible.
I can't see from that from that conference there, I can't. It's difficult to tell exactly where they were, but they did
I know, I was
specifically
trying to figure it out too.
Yeah.
Now, if you go to their Facebook page, I'm wondering because they show a picture and it looks like their headquarters. Let me just go back to it for a second. It's right on their front page and it says, I don't know, I'm just wondering if this is where they're stationed right now.
Mm.
It says Board of County Commissioners, and then the mountain is the background, but they don't show very many pictures of it at all. But they do have a, if you want to look on their map, it's it's called Centennial Hall, 200 South Cascade Avenue. And if we go to the Google Maps, maybe we can see their surroundings.
Yeah, so let me just
Could be also it could also be a military base. Look how many military bases are there.
because
Right?
they went. The stepmother took Gannon on a hiking trip the day before, on the 26th, which I think was a Sunday, to I think it was Garden of the Gods. It's like a park, a hiking
Yeah,
trail.
I looked that one up too, but this is not even near it.
Oh. Okay,
If you look on the Google Maps, it doesn't make sense.
yeah, let me bring that back up then. I'll bring
Yeah,
Google
bring it
Maps
up
back up.
because this one, it is, if she was going to go to Garden Springs, I think somebody broke it down saying it would take 2 hours to drive from her home. I'm not too sure the distance of where we're talking, if you want to try and figure that one out for us. Because it's like totally in a different location.
So what's the address?
Oh, the address is for the El Paso. Now, this is at their website, so I'm just saying maybe we can go from there and then satellite from there. So it's called Centennial Hall, and it's 200 South Cascade, Cascade Avenue, and it's Colorado Springs, 80903.
200 South Cascade Avenue, Colorado Springs.
Yeah.
So this is what's showing on their Facebook site, is it?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just going to their site because I noticed it said El Paso in the news. So I'm wondering if that's where they're broadcasting. I'm just speculating.
Mm. Yeah, that's a bit. So that's further out to the west.
Right.
Yeah, west of the airport. 'Cause I think
Like it's nothing to the direction of where she claims that they went on a hike at all.
So
Now
what?
look at look at Garden Springs, and then you'll see what I'm saying.
So what does it say regarding that area? Does it say they're specifically there, or that's where they're broadcasting from?
I don't know. You notice how on the bottom of the news it said El Paso? So I thought, well, okay, I'm going to go to their site. And they do have a post in regards to him. And they do have weather watch warnings. They had a huge blizzard. I'm just seeing yesterday. Okay, so the blizzard hit on the 4th. Okay, so they've got one here. See, this is through, like they also say, through EPC Sheriff's Office is who we're supposed to give the tips to. And they have the phone number here of 719-520-6666 or email tips@alpasco.com. So I'm thinking, that's why I'm thinking they're in El Paso. They've gone to El Paso County. This is where they seem to be broadcasting right now. All the tips go there. So that's nowhere near where she lives. Like they're not doing it in the juristic, or however you pronounce it, of her area.
No, unless that's just the county that's, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a county, but why wouldn't they do it in their own county? You know what I'm saying?
I think
That's what's making me wonder.
Yeah, I think the El Paso County Sheriff's Office have sort of been running with it from the beginning, so I don't know whether they just got the jurisdiction over it.
Maybe it could be. It could be.
Yeah, I did notice there that they did say about they've got a Twitter page because you were saying about, you
Yeah,
have
I
the
didn't do. I haven't
facilities.
gone there yet.
Yeah, anyone that's because
But
they are taking volunteers.
yeah,
Um,
I noticed that they mentioned about the drones, and like I said, you have to go through a vetting process. So you do. You have to make sure that you don't have a criminal record, just so you know, because that's part of the vetting process that you have to go through, and you have to have really, obviously good health. Like these conditions are brutal. Like you can hear what they're saying. You have to dress properly. You have to know that kind of terrain and be able to do it. You just,
Definitely, yeah. Well, that
yeah.
special equipment they were saying, aren't they? It was that basically it's to smash through the ice by the sound of it.
I'm
They've
just trying to scroll back to the date that you said that you said and see if,
yeah, so 27th of January he was
yeah, I'm
reported
at the
reported
28th.
missing. I think a few days later they kind of
Oh,
initially
okay.
initially he was a runaway initially, but
Right.
then due to his age, the weather, the fact that he was on special medication, that kind of thing, they upped it to endangered missing child, and that then enables them to bring in other services, and obviously the FBI then got involved. So
Yeah.
they've certainly got a lot of agencies on the case. I think there's about 4 or
Yeah,
5.
I read another one that they have quite a few. Um,
Just pray to God they find him. He's got to be
we
out
d-
there somewhere, hasn't he?
well,
It's
it makes me wonder. Like it was interesting that someone said check the trunks, you know what I mean, and that they even thought about doing that. Like there's, they're not telling us a lot. Obviously, we couldn't find out about the medication. For some reason, they don't want to release that. I don't know. Maybe it could be also that I don't know. Like
yeah,
if
she
if he was, let's just say maybe they don't want to do that because my theory is, oh, like it would be good because then people could go in and get it, and maybe they don't want to do that because if someone goes and gets that medicine, that might be the person who has them.
yeah, might be
You never know, right?
yeah, could give them a bit of a helping hand if you like. It's
Yeah,
difficult, isn't it?
yeah,
She
yeah.
she didn't seem to sound like it was life or death with the medication,
No,
did she?
no, she didn't. But it still concerns us because as a child, when you're a parent or even not, and you hear a child needs medicine, it's just like, whoa, no matter what it is, even if it's just like cold medicine or sinus medicine, if they don't have it, then they're going to have that problem, right? I don't,
Absolutely.
everybody keeps talking about tummy medicines. So, and somebody said that the stepmother had made mention of it, but I don't know.
Hmm.
Somewhere along the line in one of the Facebooks, she or somebody was talking about it. I've got so many emails myself too, and I have to root through like what's rumors.
Yeah, that's the trouble. Certainly in this case, and they've made a point of saying that, haven't they? That there's been too much speculation. It's been a
Well,
hindrance in a way.
when it isn't, there's especially speculation in this kind of circumstances. It's not
Yeah.
cut and dry, right?
Mm, but they're certainly not taking any tips via social media. They made a point of saying that. But she did sound quite frustrated that she's saying that basically any tip that comes in, they kind of have to follow procedure, I guess,
Yeah,
and follow it
yeah,
up
they do.
because they don't know, do they, what if
No,
it's useful or not. And
so true, so true. Did you find out the distance of that other one that she says that she went to? Can you show us on the map? Maybe everybody could see it
yeah,
too,
so I can show you
where she claims.
the park, or the
Yeah,
trail. So let me put this in again. So basically, so this will be his house, roughly in this area here. Just save that,
I just want to see if it is about an hour or two drive.
and then Just make sure that's saved. Yeah, it has. And I think it was Garden of the Gods.
Yeah.
I think it was about, if I'm right, about 15 miles, but
Oh, that's not far.
I might be wrong. Let me just check. So there's Garden of the Gods.
What a name.
Zoom out a little bit more. It's right on a mountain range as well. It's obviously like
Well, I
some
think
kind
there's
of
a lot of
trail.
mountains around there from what I'm looking at now at pictures. It's beautiful.
But like you were saying, the weather, I think people appreciate it's quite going to be a real hindrance for them, isn't it?
Well, like she said, the grounds are frozen, so it's hard to, do anything, right? Unless, like, maybe he's in a house somewhere. I don't know. Don't forget, remember how I just said that there's houses under construction? So are they going to go through maybe the new developments? You don't know, right? Like, have they gone door to door? They haven't even made mention of that. Like,
True. Yeah, so it's 25 kilometers, 15 miles.
okay, so that's not far at all.
Hmm.
And how many kilometers are we at from the newscast and the water search?
Yeah, do we know exactly where that was, that water search? Where were they? Was it where was it again? You said they were broadcasting from,
Because
you thought?
we can figure out on the time El Pasco.
El
And you need the address again?
Yeah.
It was okay, it's 200 South Cascade Avenue,
Oh yeah, I've got it there.
80903.
Okay, so that looks
That's
kind of
I'd
central.
like to.
Why is that not coming up? Oh, there we go. So that's kind of in the middle. I don't know if you can see there, but that's kind of almost in the middle
In
of
the
that
middle.
line. Yeah, just where
So
that
that's not
red
that far
marker
either.
is. So it's somewhere around that area, isn't it? They haven't. All they've said is a body of water in the Lawson Ranch area, but then that is I'm sure that was the other way,
Didn't
wasn't
she
it?
just say it was frozen though?
Yes, she did. Yeah.
Well, then that is not running water, but still, if you put somebody under ice, you wouldn't really find them until it thaws.
Hmm. They said.
I don't know how fast that river is in moving underneath to bring them down. I don't want to say that he's in the water. I'm sorry. We
Yeah.
want the
No.
best, but you know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Absolutely. It
We're
just.
speculating.
Yeah. It
That's
just
all.
makes you wonder why they focused in on this particular body of water, doesn't it? I don't know. They're just not saying anything, are they, at the moment?
No, they're not. Now, I was trying to think about while we were doing all of this in regards to the videotape that was dropped on Sunday night. And then, of course, we get some of the day ones, right? And I'm trying to figure out, like, if she happened to be involved allegedly. And, it obviously shows that there could be time that she could do this and maybe go to Burger King at the same time for an alibi. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I want to see the receipt to that Burger King. And did she order up her fries? I have to make some humor on this. I'm sorry.
Not me. Yeah.
And, and then spending some time and then finally going home, because if you look at the video surveillance, so like we don't get a timestamp on the video surveillance, unfortunately. Maybe they want to do that public, only the police. But the first strip that we were dropped, we get, I think that's Sunday night because it says a P, and I think that's Sunday night. So in my feeling, I'm just saying, my feeling is this happened at night, and her story, if she's involved, um ha- he was already, she could have driven at night or something like that and then come back, because there's no videotape of him walking to his friends.
No.
Where's that piece of tape?
Exactly. Yeah. I wonder if they've got
Mm,
more. They've got more tape than what they've let on. I mean, obviously this chap's sort of been leaked out. This footage that we've got. I wonder if
but
they've
why
got
would he do
more.
that?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why
I
would
don't
he
know.
drop it?
Whether he's been convinced by a very smooth talking news reporter. Um,
TMZ gave him 10 grand. Oh,
I don't know, but yeah, he
I
seems to
don't
be.
know.
He's been sort of singing like a canary since it kind of came out, and
But you know, the other thing is about what he did was he was this is how people can help, and he just thought, oh my gosh, this is happening in my neighborhood. He couldn't sleep, so he thought, I'm going to go look on my surveillance, and he saw something, you know. I
absolutely,
thought
yeah.
that was amazing, like to stay up all night and do that and then bring it to us. But I was shocked to hear that it got leaked. How the heck did it get leaked? I don't know, if it because his name's all over it, so I don't know if he is the person that actually did it. I don't know. I never can understand those kind of things.
No, I have no idea. It just seemed to appear, and then it just spread like wildfire. I think it was one of the major news stations that actually showed it first, Denver 7 or something.
Oh, really? I just
Yeah.
got it in my email. That's, I
Mm.
went, what? And then
Yeah.
I started looking at it, and you can see her clearly at 10:47 on Sunday night. You can see her clearly. If you have your email, I'll send you the picture. You can see her clearly walking, and Gannon isn't there on Sunday night, if that is for meaning nighttime. But we do see him if uh, uh, going into the truck with her, but he doesn't come back.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, if that's Monday, and was she taking him to the doctor at that time? And then, he doesn't come back. So, just clarify if I'm, right in this. In her interview, did she say that Gannon walked out of the house to go to his friends, or did she drop him off
I think
somewhere down the road and he walked?
I understand I just believe that she said that he left for a friend's house. So he
So
would have left
that
on
wouldn't.
foot by himself. That's
Okay, so if we see the videotape, him leaving with her, let's just say hypothetically she's telling the truth and she took him to the doctor. Did she drop him off in a nearby area close by to his friends? And he never arrived, but that's not what she's saying.
No, that's not what she said. She said that
Mm.
he was at the home and he left for a friend's house at about 4:30, I think
See,
it
that doesn't
was.
make sense, does it?
No, no, because
And unless that's the piece of tape
mm,
that they don't want to show us. I don't know, but why not? I mean, with Harley, they gave us that still shot of him supposedly walking, right?
yeah, yeah,
So they gave us that. That's how we kind of said, oh, he was by himself, right?
yeah. I mean, the neighbor that supplied the footage that we got. So the footage that we've got is basically on the Monday. You see the stepmom and Gannon leave at 10:16, I think it is, a.m. And then she comes back
Hmm.
alone about 2:30 p.m. I think it is, and he's not
Yep.
with her. So obvious
Right.
question, where is he?
Right. And it doesn't seem to, unless the police have it, that he had seen him at all to her alibi.
No, he would have a video, wouldn't he, of him leaving the house at 4:30 to go
Yes,
to the
of
friends?
course.
Yeah.
I mean, we see neighbors driving in and out. We see activity going on and stuff like that. Where's this child, like that
Hmm.
you claim that walked out of the house? Like, should be clear as clear as day. You know what I mean? Since it
Absolutely,
is.
yeah. So,
Ah,
and the fact that the father, when he saw the footage that we've seen, broke down crying and said that she lied.
well, I would too.
That's very telling, isn't it?
Mm,
Because obviously there can't be any other footage, like we just said, of Gannon leaving later on. Otherwise, he would have showed him that, surely, and then, we wouldn't have this whole story, would we, about
no.
Gannon not returning?
So if he was to go to his friend's house, he would have to come home at a certain time for supper, correct? I would imagine, unless he's staying for dinner.
Yeah, they.
So when was it that she supposedly, let's go on her story. When was it supposedly that she got concerned that he's not come home yet. If you said it's friends, did she call the friend's house, or do
They,
you know
I
that?
think that they had a street light rule, basically, kind of when the street lamps go out, you need to be in. So
Right,
I
but
think it was sort of around 6:55, 7 p.m. that evening that she knew that, or supposedly that she reported him not, coming home.
because she called the parent of where he was supposed to be.
I don't know. Really don't know actually. I don't think she said that, unless someone can correct me
I
in
don't
the
know
chat.
either.
I
I can't
don't
remember.
think she did.
I mean,
This is
she
the
was
thing.
talking about so many other things except for him. So, like, I don't know. I have to maybe listen to what she's saying again, because I
Yeah.
I know that she pulled her daughter over and the mic was still going on, and it seemed so coerced, and then, it's like, I've had death threats, so, like, why bring your daughter into the camera, and your
Hmm.
head's, and all you want to do is show your head, but you don't want to protect your 17-year-old daughter if you've got death threats. And why do you have death threats? Like,
Exactly.
how fast could you get death threats when we're just first hearing this?
It's there's so many
It's
unanswered questions, and it's so confusing. Someone's just saying that the dad called the friends home,
okay, okay,
and obviously said that he wasn't home.
okay.
So, and the other weird thing is that the stepmom was living there with the father, but now
Talk
she's not
about
allowed to return to the house. She was kind of instantly told to leave
she got kicked out of the
because she
bed,
got
eh?
kicked out. Yeah, and the biological mother came back, and obviously, because obviously this is their child.
But
Um,
it wouldn't that be considered adultery if they're married? Just saying.
I don't know. I don't know. This is the other thing. We don't know the dynamics of the
I
whole
guess
of
the
the whole relationship.
2020s, it doesn't matter anymore.
No, no.
Because I'm thinking, hold on a second here, because I wasn't sure, was she kicked out or is she in the house? And now the ex-wife is back, and, like, is he sleeping on the couch? Like, what's going on here? I don't want to
Yeah,
know. It was like too much information going through my head. You can imagine the
I,
things that are going in my head. I'm going, oh my gosh.
yeah, and she seemed very sort of. There's obviously animosity there seems between the stepmother and the mother. The fact that she mentioned that, she hadn't been there to look after him for 2 years while she had, and
Oh,
I don't know. It's
so she was neglecting him.
well, no, there's nothing to say that, but
Oh, I see. Okay, okay.
it's just the whole thing's just kind of strange. It's very,
So
very odd.
they just decided to get back together recently,
I
or
don't know. I don't know any of the. I don't know any of that. I
well,
don't
I
know any
think
of
that
that.
you have to build up about getting back together with your ex-spouse, but don't you think that you should try and get the new one out first? Maybe
Yeah,
she wouldn't go. No, I'm not going. I'm not going.
I
I'm
don't
not
know.
going. I
I
saw some.
don't know what to make of this whole case at the moment. I really don't. It's
So she's now out of the house, right? She's somewhere in
yes,
an undisclosed location, right?
yes.
Okay. All right.
So you
So
know,
Anon, if I may ask, Anon said that there was pictures of the interior of the house. Did you know about that,
I haven't
King?
seen anything like that. No, I haven't seen
He
anything like
said that there's pictures of the house, and I'd like to see those if we've got pictures of the inside of the house, because people were talking in the chat saying how neat and tidy it was.
that. I don't know. I haven't seen any
Anon,
footage inside the house.
is it is there pictures of the house, Anon? I'm curious.
I don't think they've let anyone in. I don't think they would have let any of the press
No,
inside or
I
anything
think it's
like
a
that.
rumor. You got to
Yeah,
be careful. I got so many pictures. I got these pictures. Oh, this looks like, his stuff on the side of the road, and gloves, and all these just crazy, crazy things.
yeah. There's a
It's
lot of
just like,
crazy rumors. I mean, there's so many
hmm
fingers being pointed at the stepmom, but we just don't know. She could be, it's. I don't like to
well, there's
speculate.
speculation, that she was having an affair. The daddy, I don't know, there's a daddy site, I don't know, sugar daddy site that was made that day, but I think that's fake. I think somebody just posted that. I don't. I don't think that she's going to be on the day that he goes missing, try to get a sugar daddy. I'm just saying, like, you know, I
No.
try to think logically. I think that's fake. Somebody posted it. I don't even think the date of the birth is correct, right? So, I mean, if she did, she did. You know, what can you do? You know, she wants to go from one frying pan to another. You know, I don't know. You never know with people, right? These
No.
days. Maybe she wants to get revenge. Aha, you're with your back with your ex. I'm gonna get a sugar daddy. I don't know.
Yeah, I think we all just want, Gannon to be found, and then everything else can just sort of be put aside for the moment, and just focus on obviously finding
Does
Gannon.
anybody do you know if Gannon had a cell phone at all?
He didn't have it with him. He left it, or it was taken
Oh, but
from
he
him, or
does own one.
yeah, he owns a phone, but I mean,
Oh,
he's only what 11 years old, so I don't know
oh
whether
gosh, another Harley.
it be joined, permanently have his phone on him at that age. I don't know, but he didn't have his phone with him, and obviously that's
Well, that's kind of
not very
weird. You got to
helpful.
think. Well, that's kind of weird. If you're going to go to your friend's house, you're walking down the street, wouldn't you think you take your phone?
You would have thought so.
I
You would have
would.
thought
Like
so.
if, the reason why my kids had phones was for two reasons. If there was ever an emergency in school, that was when they were allowed to use it. And if all of a sudden, they had to let me know, like, because they would be walking almost 2 miles to and fro school, and they would have to call me if they were just going to stay at the park for a little while, or, be a little bit later or something, right? That was what the phone was for. And they had them since they were in grade 3.
Definitely, yeah. Whether he was old enough though to kind of be, I mean, my daughter's
Oh,
15.
you're
She
old
won't
enough.
she won't go
No,
anywhere
no, you're not.
without a phone, but yeah.
These days, you see babies using phones. Babies know how to use tablets better than I do.
Mm, yeah. Well, let's
Hmm.
just hope and pray that, something we get some good news. It's
So concerning. It's
yeah,
like, TikTok every day, and in those conditions in the weather and everything like that,
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. The other thing that I did, if I can mention this, is that she has a history of charges,
Who does?
the stepmother.
Right, okay. Is this more speculation or this is
Well, it is not speculation because the channel holder that dropped it, she shows you that she goes to do the search, and it's her name. And so she goes to the real search where you search out for criminal history on people. And she has a criminal history of I'm just going to say allegedly in case this is a rumor, but I'm just, saying of assaults and various other crazy things in there. And um, if that's the case, and she's under the vulnerable sector, that's another reason why you couldn't teach. Like if you have charges such as that behind you, then you're not bondable. You know what I mean?
hmm. So it could put into question her character, is that what you're saying?
Well, you just can't. It's just the way the law goes. She was charged, and it's just the way the law goes. She'd have to wait and apply for a pardon, and that can take a long, lengthy process. Like it can take 3 years just to file it. And basically, what you do when you file for a pardon, you have to do an admission of guilt that you actually did this, and you're redeemed yourself. You re-entered society in a better way, in a better manner, and it also costs like anywhere from $1,800. It's quite a process to do. That's why it's so hard when people are incarcerated and they come out, they can't get jobs, because most jobs now you have to be bondable. If you work with people or children, you have to be bondable. If you're a security officer, sometimes even cashiers now have to be bondable because you're handling money, right?
Hmm.
So I don't know. I did a quick check, but it didn't. It was taking so long to process that, because it's a database that they go through, right? You go through it when you key in somebody's name, and it was just taking so long. And I just thought, oh. I got to get to work, right? But
Yeah.
I'll go into my emails and verify it. But other people have verified it too, so that can do that, right?
Yeah, because she did say something about it was a military move that something to do with her. She gave up her license or something. It wasn't anything to do with any
Oh, that's
issues. I'm
interesting.
sure that she said she
Military.
literally because Gannon's father was part of the National Guard. Um,
Oh,
yeah,
that's quite prestigious.
she said it was they moved. It was a military move, and that's basically what affected her sort of teaching career position, if you like.
Well, he
So
could validate that.
yeah, but sort of I hate to kind of speculate and point
I
fingers at
know.
people. It's just
I know
something
you're
that
like me. We don't, that's why we say allegedly,
yeah,
allegedly.
yeah, I don't
Even though they say when you say allegedly, that's kind of saying they're guilty.
yeah. Someone's always innocent until proven
I
guilty, and
agree. I agree. But she
yeah,
was the one that decided to come out in the forefront the way she did. So
she did, yeah,
she's the only one that we can do the T on.
true, yeah, she did do that
So,
interview, and
and that's all we're doing. We're just doing the tea. We're just, talking about, how everybody has their opinion and perspective of everything, right? Some people might say, nope, she's she just is what she is and how she is, and that's it. The bottom line is this little boy's missing, and we need to hopefully pray that good news will come.
yeah,
That's all,
absolutely, yeah, absolutely, and whoever, if anyone does know something about it, they really need to speak up because
Yeah, of
this is killing
course.
the parents. It's absolutely
But I mean,
destroying them.
if you're criminal minded, you'll be in denial. Like you think that you've done the perfect crime, so you're not going to say anything.
Mm,
But we do, as sleuthers, we have seen people come forth and say, "Yeah, I've done it," and it does take time. And in my opinion, it would be better for them, if the person, if they did do something or they do know something, is to confess now, because it might not knock your charges, like it might, like you still might get your charges and all that, but it might look better for you when you're in front of a trial that you had animosities and you admitted your guilt. It may help with your sentencing. You might not get the death sentencing or life or something. You might only get 20 to 30 years. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm. Mm,
Like right now, whoever's done this would have kidnapping. That's one for sure. It would
yeah.
be kidnapping, abduction. So there's the two charges. Those are good for 20 years, up to 20 years,
Mm-hmm.
depending on that state. I'm not too sure about Colorado. And I don't know if Colorado has the death penalty. I have no idea.
No, I don't. I don't think it's quite as it's not like Texas. I don't think.
Yeah, Colorado is probably a horse town or something. That sounds like Sleepy Hollows,
Yeah,
but very beautiful. It's so beautiful.
yeah.
It really is.
Well,
Oh,
let's just hope and pray. Thanks for calling in.
thank you so kindly for having me up here. I'll stay tuned to you, and if I have any dish, you'll see me on my channel with it. But thank you so much, and it's a great pleasure to finally connect.
Yeah, that's fine. If you want to drop your channel in the chat, is it under your own name? Is it? Are you in the
Yeah,
chat?
all you have to do is click on my icon, and then you can go to my channel.
Mm-hmm. And what's your name in the chat?
My channel is called The Dish,
Okay,
and people call me Tay.
Tay. Okay.
And my sidekick host is my cat, who's Tay Tay. He's always in the mix because he comes up when I'm live. He gets so jealous when I talk to people. He has to say hello.
Yeah.
So people like to hear the meow meows. Okay,
Oh,
thank you so kind. God bless you all. Peace, love, and harmony. And thank you so much.
no problem. Thanks for your call.
Okay, take care. I don't know how to hang up, but
That's
I'll
okay.
figure it
I
out.
can figure it out
Okay.
for you.
Thank
Okay.
thank you, kind.
Thank you.
Bye
Bye.
bye.
Bye. Yeah, there we go, guys. That was Tay. So she's in the chat somewhere. If you want to check out Tay's channel, that's very interesting. Cool. So what do we know? So we know that they are doing further searches in the water. They've got special equipment. I think she mentioned fire equipment to, sounds like, break through the ice. And we saw in the conference that it was very snowy. It's obviously very cold. We're obviously facing thick ice. Now, we don't know exactly where this is, and we don't know exactly why they are searching this particular area. Let's obviously just hope and pray that it leads to nothing, because it's obviously freezing water, so we don't want them finding anything in there, do we? So let's just hope and pray it comes to nothing. Obviously, we want news, good news. And it makes you worry more, doesn't it, when you see how severe the weather is? It's obviously so cold at night. You know, this kid's only 11 years old, and we still don't know what his special medication is. They're obviously keeping things very tight guarded for a reason, which, you know, I can respect that. They're keeping things certainly close to their chest. Haven't heard anything more from stepmother. Stepmother kind of did a bit of a crying appeal at the end of her interview, but she hasn't done any further kind of pleas for him to come home, which some people have thought a bit concerning. I guess from her point of view, she just doesn't want to come out because she's receiving death threats and stuff like that. So, are we any further forward? Not really, but well, we know obviously that there's numerous agencies involved, and let's just sure that they come out with some good news soon. Because we're all on tenterhooks. I don't know about you, but it's one of those cases you get emotionally invested in, and I'm constantly checking my phone for news, and as soon as I wake up in the morning, I'm checking my phone for news. We just so need a happy story, and I just pray and hope that this is one of those. Well, thanks everyone for coming in tonight. I hope you've been happy and comfortable in the chat. I hope you found it interesting and informative. I'm sure that other creators will pick up the baton and stuff like that, keeping people updated. I'll obviously keep everyone updated as much as I can. It's always worth checking our community page because I constantly put stuff on there. Sometimes I'll just check in on everyone, just say hello, see how everyone's doing. I like to, because I can't always go live as much as some of these creators, you go live every day for hours and hours. I can't do that, unfortunately. So, but I like to, for everyone, just kind of stay in touch and, you know, feel part of the community. So I'll often post daily on the community page. So feel free to comment on there and just say hello to everyone if you want and just check in. Yeah, Donna Shepherd's made a very good point there. Shane Kerry's interview, he was nervous, acting weird. We didn't, but a lot of people, you know, had him convicted. And of course, he was completely innocent. So we just don't know. Every case, it's becoming clear to me. Everybody's different. Every case is different. Everybody reacts differently. There's not really you can't really draw a baseline and say that's how someone reacts when they're guilty. That's how someone reacts when they're innocent. I think everybody's different, aren't they? And none of us knows how we'd act or react in a situation. But you know, I know everyone on the channel, you guys, you all keep speculation to an absolute minimum, which, you know, I respect that and I respect you all for that. I think it's important that we do that for everybody's sake. You know, I just think that's the right thing to do. Not make crazy speculation and accusations. It's right having sort of chat about it like we did tonight, but you know, putting out crazy theories I don't think really helps anybody. Hi Kelly, I'm fine, thank you. We've come to the end of the party. We've run out of booze and food, and everyone's on the way out the door. But no, it's nice to see you here. Hi Happy Go Lucky, that's a new one I think, new name. I've seen that one before. Hi We Are One. So I haven't been concentrating much on the chat. I've been I was engrossed in conversation with Tay. That's something I'm going to start using more as well as Google Maps, because I think it adds a new dynamic to things, doesn't it? When you can focus in on what's, the actual location of the crimes that we talk about, and the surrounding areas and what's going on. So that's something I'll be doing more of. Getting used to Google Maps now. I'm learning a few new tricks. Ah, new sub. Well done. Happy go lucky. It's always good to see new people here. I think you'll find us a very friendly bunch. We're very fair. We let people have their opinions and stuff. We just don't take any rudeness and disrespect. Simple really. Just as people can be adults, then we'll all get on fine. Our Facebook page. Yeah, I can put the link to the Facebook page. Our Facebook page. Bear with me one moment and I'll grab that for you guys. Anyone who's not joined, really appreciate if you could join our Facebook group. It gives you a chance to chat to each other a lot more as well. Obviously, YouTube's not as interactive as, well, it is when we're doing lives, but otherwise it's not as interactive for communicating and keeping in touch with people. So that's our link to our Facebook group. So you're quite welcome to join if you haven't already joined. And Louise has had a bit of a true crime respite. Yeah, you do miss a lot. Yeah, it's funny. There's days when weeks when kind of nothing happens, and then when stuff does happen, it all seems to happen at once, and there's too much to cover. Hi, Connie, crept in there. I didn't see you creep in. Right, okay, guys, I'm gonna jump off. So thanks everyone for popping in. Thank you to Kimberly, True Helper, for looking after everybody. I hope you all had a nice, cozy time in the chat. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you found it informative, and more important than anything, let's just keep praying and keep our thoughts out for Gannon, and let's just pray that it's going to be good news very shortly. That's what we all wish for, isn't it? So let's keep praying, guys. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, evening. Thank you.